Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. Now, as you know, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths was a 2010 direct-to-video animated superhero film that the plot of the film was originally meant to be based on an abandoned direct-to-video planned film called Justice League Worlds Collide that was meant to be sort of like an in-between to Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, until eventually Dwayne McDuffie and the team got back Dwayne McDuffie's script and sort of revamped it in a different style. And yes, some elements of JOA Earth 2 was used. So pretty much the premise of the movie is meant to feature the heroic version of Lex Luthor coming across to the main DC universe, where he needs the Justice League's help in taking down the crime syndicate. And we kind of see how this version of the Justice League have to started out at being superheroes, as they've finally set up their own watchtower, and this one implies that they are just starting out working as a team, but still function well. So throughout the movie, we see how Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, and Martian Manhunter travel to Lex Luthor's Earth to battle their evil counterparts and take on the crime syndicate. Now, the crime syndicate, I would say, are much different than the comic book versions, as in the sort of like post-crisis continuity, they were more kind of like conquerors, more kind of taking over the world. Well, in the pre-crisis continuity, they were more kind of using their powers to sort of spread chaos. This one, they act more like a mafia-like business. And yeah, the crime syndicate each have their own made men and their own sort of function, which are meant to be based on certain teams, like Owlman's team being based more on the Outsiders, Superwoman's being a mix of the whole Marvel team, also having John Jarkis' team being based on Justice League Detroit. And throughout the movie, we see how some of the members of the crime syndicate are like. You've got Ultraman, who acts like a stereotypical mafia boss. You have basically Johnny Quick as a stereotyped British villain. And you have Power Ring, who's just thrown in there. And you have Owlman, who is voiced by James Woods, with bigger plans. And I would have to say James Woods voicing Owlman does a fantastic job. He's like a counterpart to Kevin Conroy when he voices Batman, because with him voicing Owlman, he's more sinister, calm, collect, and really knows where he wants to sort of do a menacing voice. And when you got Owlman's character, he does have bigger plans. So I would say the movie is a little bit of a hit and miss, but it definitely knows what it wants to do. Again, when you kind of got Martian Manhunter falling in love with the president's daughter, it seems enforced, but it's a moment you can tell they both sort of have something to relate to. And it does seem a little enforced, and I kind of wish it was handled a little bit better. Also, I do feel we could have had mostly a different story, because it seemed like what they were going for was to take on the crime syndicate, but they needed a big event to sort of spice it up, which wasn't a bad idea, but it does feel a little enforced. And again, it kind of goes with the whole stereotypical kind of one choice we make, we create an Earth thing. I think the reason why I liked the idea of a multiverse was each Earth had a different history, like Earth 12 being based on the DC animated universe. You had Earth 2, which was like a golden age like Earth. you had Earth 11, a gender-swapped universe. I think there was some ideas, but I think some of it was either thrown in or just seemed like they needed a story just to fit in. And I also know they did do a sequel, which was known as Justice League Doom, but I don't really see it linking with Crisis on Two Earths, as it's kind of implied that Crisis on Two Earths is meant to feature a more newer version of the Justice League. And keep in mind, when you kind of have the ending sort of suggesting there was going to be more members, then yeah, it does sort of work. And again, I'm hoping at some point we might get another sort of Crisis-like storyline in animated form, either Crisis on Infinite Earths. I would definitely like to see that. So, by the end of it, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths is a bit of a hit and miss, but it's an alright movie. So I think it deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.